What's up guys, my name is Ace, and this past week we've got a ton of massive leaks for the next Call of Duty game, which looks like it is absolutely going to be called Call of Duty Vanguard. Now that has been rumored for quite some time, but now we've actually seen promotional images leaked, which of course, I'm not going to be risking my channel in order to share that with you guys, so I won't be sharing any leaked images here, just leaked information that we have. And with that being said, even though all the leaks I'm going to be talking about today are coming from very reliable leakers that have been very accurate in the past with their leaks, you do have to take this all with a grain of salt. Some of it may end up being inaccurate, or sometimes things just change in the development process and maybe the information they have ends up being outdated. Also keep in mind this is a pre-recorded video since I'm away for the weekend, so if any further leaks come out after Thursday, then they obviously won't be covered in this video. But let's just dive right into it. The next Call of Duty game is going to be called Call of Duty Vanguard. That is not just a code name they've been using in the background. That's the actual title of the Call of Duty game. And the two primary leakers are going to be referencing today are Tom Henderson, as well as the Ghost of Hope, and I will be linking their Twitters in the description down below. But the first piece of information that was leaked is it looks like we're going to be seeing 24 maps at launch in Vanguard. And this is huge news. This was a major downfall of Black Ops Cold War, and even Modern Warfare didn't have a ton of maps at launch, at least 6v6 maps. But with that in mind, these 24 maps aren't all 6v6 maps. These are going to be distributed across their various modes, like presumably 2v2 gunfight, a ground war style mode or combined arms style mode, which might just be called war, like the CoD World War II mode. And then according to Ghost of Hope, 12 of these 24 maps are going to be 6v6 maps, which is still not quite as good as we used to see back in the glory days of CoD at launch. But at least it is noticeably better than we saw with Modern Warfare as well as Cold War. So this is an improvement, assuming this is true. And I'm happy to see that. I would be happy with 12 6v6 maps at launch. Additionally, something I was a little bit surprised to see here is in the trailer that these leakers were able to see, which I personally haven't seen yet. In this, the Ghost of Hope says the locations appear to be from the Pacific, which is what we expected with Vanguard, but also Africa, and then also potentially Japan. But it's interesting to see Africa in there because up until this point, we've just been assuming everything's going to be located in the Pacific theater. But it looks like we may be seeing some maps in Africa as well, because normally you see maps in multiplayer that take place in all of the various locations you see in the campaign. The next bit of information that has been a long time coming, I feel, for CoD, this is something that I've seen requested by fans for a decade, is dynamic weather in multiplayer. And then he clarifies by saying, think like Advanced Warfare. And that last statement is important because at first what I was thinking and kind of what I was hoping is every time you get into a map, you never really know what the weather's going to be. It could be either raining or sunny. You won't really know until you're on the map. However, when he said think like Advanced Warfare, this seems more like it's going to be a consistent dynamic event that happens on some or maybe even all of the maps where something triggers at some point in the match that causes the weather to change in a predictable fashion. That's at least what I gathered from this tweet. Perhaps I could be a little bit off on that, but it seems like that's going to be the case. And I mean, that still could be fairly interesting. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, in addition to that, it looks like we're going to have dynamic environments as well, according to Tom. And with this, he says there's no more stationary tables and chairs in a room. When a grenade goes off, for example, the chairs and the table will fly around the room, so it looks like there's going to be a lot of physics involved there. And also, there will be doors in multiplayer. However, they can be destroyed, which I'm really happy to hear. I wasn't a huge fan of the doors in Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer, but if they insist on having them, I like the fact that you can at least destroy them. I think that's a perfectly fair trade-off. Now, another thing that came out with these leaks that some people are going to be extremely happy to see, other people just won't care about at all, they're actually going to be able to use the swastika and the Nazi flag in the game. They're not censoring that like they did with CoD World War II. They are going to be showing that. And apparently that came because there was a change to laws in Germany where previously you couldn't show those symbols in video games, but now you can. So for those that are looking for more of a historically accurate environment, you're probably going to like this. But next up, something I think many CoD World War II fans are going to be disappointed in is so far there has been no mention of headquarters. Now, the Ghost of Hope did further clarify on this and say maybe it will be there. However, it wasn't mentioned anywhere. His source hasn't mentioned it yet. And therefore, it does seem unlikely because that would likely be one of their big selling features like it was back in CoD World War II. So as far as we can tell at this point, at least, it doesn't look like the headquarters is going to be returning, but it is still technically a possibility. And I am interested in hearing from you guys in the comments below about this, actually. How much do you care about having the headquarters from COD World War II? Would it be a deal breaker for you if Vanguard didn't have the headquarters? Or would you just maybe be slightly disappointed? Or maybe will you be happy that there's no headquarters? For me personally, I'm kind of indifferent to it, although I didn't like, at least when COD World War II first launched, you had to actually load up the headquarters in order to do many things in the game. And I just felt like that created a lot of unnecessary loading times and stuff. I know they worked that out throughout the year, so then you didn't have to do that. But yeah, for me, if it's not there, I don't think I'm going to miss it at all. Now, we've just about got it covered for the multiplayer details of Vanguard. However, we did get a list of weapons that the Ghost of Hope was able to see that are showing up in either promotional images or in the trailer that he saw. And most of these are to be expected. We've got the STG-44, the MP-40, the Sten, Type 100, PPSH-41, Mosin Nagant, Kar-98, Lee Enfield, M1911, Thompson, as well as the MG-42. Absolutely none of those are a surprise. Those are all staples to any World War II shooter. But I did feel like it was worth mentioning since the Ghost of Hope has actually seen these either in the trailer or in promotional images that were leaked. As for a couple other details that have been leaked, some of these tweets had been deleted at this point, but I'm still going to mention it anyway. First up, apparently Treyarch is going to be leading the zombies side of things for this game, which is very interesting to see, and I think zombies fans are going to be very happy about that, since Treyarch does typically make the best zombies experiences. And another thing that was mentioned is, at least in the game's current state, they are going to be having the tactical sprint from Modern Warfare 2019, as well as the mounting mechanic from Modern Warfare 2019. Now, at this stage in the game, these two things are likely very subject to change. And for me personally, I'm somewhat indifferent to tactical sprint gameplay-wise. Like, I could take it or leave it and be just fine. However, having tactical sprint is very hard on controllers, and I don't really like that aspect of it. So if it were up to me, I would rather just not have tactical sprint at all. But then when it comes to the mounting side of things, I'm not a fan of the mounting mechanic from Modern Warfare 2019. I feel like it encouraged and rewarded people for staying stationary and just mounting up, waiting for someone to come in their sights, and it gave them a huge advantage by almost eliminating their recoil. And then on top of that, if they have the mounting mechanic, it's likely they're going to end up having camo challenges attached to that, which I absolutely hate because I don't feel like players should be forced to remain stationary, mounting on a target, waiting for someone to come into their line of sight just to complete camo challenges. I hated doing that. It felt really scummy doing that. I felt like I wasn't being a team player while doing that, but it needed to get done if I wanted to complete the camos. And I just found that it hurt the overall gameplay flow and experience. But of course, those are just my thoughts, and you guys can let me know yours in the comments section below. As for the release date of the upcoming Call of Duty game, as of right now, it is rumored to be November 5th, which is pretty much right on schedule for Call of Duty, give or take a week or two. Let's move into the final bit of information we got when it comes to Vanguard's multiplayer, and this is coming from Tom Henderson. He said, skill-based matchmaking is the exact same as the past game. And this is really disappointing to see, but at the same time, absolutely no surprise to me. They've invested a ton of money and research into creating their matchmaking systems. And while I have made a video talking about the trend of many other developers being much more open about their skill-based matchmaking system and also having more loose skill-based matchmaking system for regular public matches at least, I by no means expected Call of Duty to make that change for this upcoming Call of Duty title. I think they're going to wait and see how things play out with the other games first, and then perhaps make adjustments in the future. In either case, it looks like we're going to be stuck with that same engagement-optimized matchmaking system that they've been using, where it's not really even a true skill-based matchmaking system. It's there to manipulate your experience to try and get you to play as much as possible. And once you know that every one of your games is being heavily manipulated, it really takes away from the experience and significantly reduces my playtime at least. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the multiplayer side of things. However, we also got some important Warzone information when it comes to the Vanguard integration. So with this, we're going to be seeing a completely new Warzone map, not just another reskin of Verdansk. This one is apparently going to be bigger than Verdansk as well. It's going to feature destruction. There's going to be planes in there as well. And also the vehicles are going to be replaced by World War II vehicles, of course. There's going to be 30 or more guns added to it. And most importantly here, and this is something that has been pretty big news, apparently, Activision has been working for over a year now on a brand new style of machine learning anti-cheat that is likely going to be coming alongside the integration with Vanguard. So we probably won't see this until Vanguard releases, but who knows, maybe we will see it implemented before the integration. But with this, so far at least, it seems like a very promising anti-cheat. This doesn't look like a traditional anti-cheat. It doesn't look like something they just quickly threw together. Like I said, this is something they've been working hard on in the background for over a year now. And I'm really hoping this is going to significantly cut down on the cheating situation in Warzone. Now, of course, actions speak louder than words, or leaks, so we are going to have to see how this ends up playing out to see if it ends up actually being effective, but at the very least, it does sound promising. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on all of the important leaks that I gathered from that massive day of leaks that we got. Of course, I'd like to hear in the comment section below, what are your overall thoughts on Vanguard at this point based on these leaks? And also, what do you think about the looks of the future of Warzone as well? Do you think this looks promising, or is it all too little too late? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.